Hello students, as you know that we are discussing the most important topics related to ancient, medieval and art and culture which are usually news. Today also we will be discussing one of the most important topic, that is the Bahamani Sultanate. Okay, now why it is in news? Because of the inscriptions. Those inscriptions which are mentioning about the concept or the city, the name Telapur, which is again related to the Telangana only. Okay, so now let's see the news item first. You can see here, you can read here the earliest known reference to Telangana in a 600-year-old stone inscription in Tellapur. Okay, that is close to Hyderabad, has been found, has been unearthed. Now the Telugu inscription from the reign of Firoz Shah Bahmani, okay, Firoz Shah Bahmani, and records the name of the site as Telunganapura. Telunganapura. And the word Telangana, it is believed that the word Telangana comes from this word Telanganapura. Okay. Now, usually guys, when we read the medieval period, we usually do not read the concept of Bahamani Empire in detail. Why? Because UPSC haven't asked questions in detail, right? But since the news item is there associated with the inscription from the Bahamani period, let us discuss few of the important facts and figures associated with Bahamani period. So let's start. This is the summary of the news item which you can read here. Recent news reports have highlighted the historical significance of word Telangana, which is found in an inscription from the time of Firoz Shah Bahmani. So we will be discussing the contribution of Firoz Shah Bahmani in detail in this video. This rare inscription discovered in Tellapur, Hyderabad, is dated to 1418 AD and specifically mentions the word Telangana. Okay, that is important for us. And according to the report, the inscription commemorates the construction of a well and the making of a golden bangle garland for the Sultan's wife by Vishwakarma community of Tellapur. Okay, during the reign of again that particular king, that is Firoz Shah Bahmani. So these few important lines which are displayed on the screen, these are important from the point of view of the like the article which was there, right? We will be going into details about the contributions of Firoz Shah Bahmani, but before that we also need to see about the Bahamani Sultanate. Okay, so let's see. Fine. Before moving to the concepts, guys, see, if you have any doubt, particularly with respect to history, you can mail me on my official email address, and these two are my social media handles. So it's Telegram and Instagram handle. You can follow me there as well. Fine. Now, moving ahead, see, this is the modern days Telangana state. This is the modern days Telangana, and this is the medieval period Bahamani Sultanate. Okay, so you can see Bahamani Sultanate again coinciding with the major part of Maharashtra, the almost half of the part of the Telangana what is there today, and the northern Karnataka. Okay, so this is the geographical extent of Bahamani Sultanate. Now let's see who was the founder and how did this Bahamani Sultanate was established. Now in this image you can see Bahamani kingdom. Now see guys, this one which is highlighted in yellow, this is highlighting the extent of Bahamani Sultanate. Now in the south, again the most famous topic of UPSC and most famous empire of that particular period, Vijayanagar kingdom. Okay, so this was in the extreme south, but today's topic of discussion is Bahamani kingdom. So we will be discussing about the Bahamanis. Fine. The Bahamani Sultanate Why we discuss, or let's say why we say this as Bahamani Sultanate? Because there will be a sultan who will be ruling this particular territory. Now, Bahamani Sultanate, इसका पीरियड क्या है, इसका एक्सटेंड कहां पे है, कितना है? सो इट्स लाइक फ्रॉम 1347 to 1527, 180 years of period. 180 years of period. So this period was ruled by Bahamani Sultan. Okay. Now location we have discussed: Deccan Plateau, South Central India. Okay, South to Central India. Significance of this empire was that it was the major Islamic kingdom in the medieval India. Okay, it was one of the major Islamic kingdom in the medieval India, apart from Delhi Sultanate and the Mughals. Okay, remember this. And it was the only Islamic kingdom in the south. Okay, only Islamic kingdom in south or Deccan, ठीक है, southern central Deccan region. Now, legacy. You need to remember that Bahamani Sultanate was the predecessor to the 5 Deccan Sultanates. ठीक है, 5 Deccan Sultanates. In the sense, what do we understand from this particular statement? That the Bahamani kingdom was further divided into 5 different Deccan Sultanates. Okay, so the first is Ahmednagar, second is Bijapur, third is Berar, fourth is Bidar, and fifth is the Golconda. Okay, but see, there will be scuffles among the different groups. There will be again fragmentation among them, and then this is how the 5 different Deccan Sultanates will be established after the Bahamani kingdom. Okay, so this is all you need to remember about it. Moving ahead, now let's see the establishment of this Bahamani Sultanate. Who was the main person? Who was the founder of the Bahamani Sultanate? So he was Alauddin Hassan Bahman Shah. Alauddin Hassan Bahman Shah. Again, he is also referred to as with the another name, that is Hassan Gangu. Okay, this is the title given to this king. Okay, he was originally named as Zafar Khan. The founder Alauddin Hassan Bahman Shah was originally named as Zafar Khan. Who was he? He was a military officer in Turkish army. So when we refer to Turkish army, so here we are referring to the Delhi Sultans. Okay, we are referring to the Delhi Sultans. Delhi Sultanate. Delhi Sultanate had their origin in the Turkish, had that Turkish origin. So remember this. Okay, and when we talk about Turkish military officer, we are referring to the military officer in Delhi Sultanate. Okay, he rebelled against the Delhi Sultanate. So again, guys, see, whenever a particular king, the powerful king dies, the successors are not much powerful. They are not able to hold the army, or they are not able to hold the important person together. And this is what will happen here as well. When Delhi Sultanate was not much powerful, okay, the king was not much powerful over there. Like after Muhammad bin Tughlaq, okay, the successors were also not that much great. They were not that much capable. Eventually, what will happen? This person, Alauddin Hassan Bahman Shah, he will be rebelling against the Delhi Sultanate. Earlier, only like during the period of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, the control will be weakening in the south. Later on, the later kings will not be able to again acquire that territory. Okay, so this is what will happen. Muhammad bin Tughlaq's weakening control over the Deccan will create a political vacuum, and that is where the Zafar Khan will now be leading the region. Okay, he will be establishing his first capital at Gulbarga, which was then known as Ehsanabad. Okay, and this is how he will be laying the foundation of Bahamani Sultanate. Then, now we are going to discuss here the second most important king of the Bahmani Sultanate, that is Tajuddin Firoz Shah Bahmani. Okay, you can refer to this particular years. So it was in this particular period that Tajuddin Firoz Shah Bahmani was ruling. Okay, and this Firoz Shah Bahmani was in news, and that is the reason we are going to discuss about him. Capital. Students remember, initially the capital was at Gulbarga. Later it was shifted to Bidar. Okay. Now, he is considered to be the greatest ruler of the Bahmani Sultanate. Why? Because of his strong leadership. Because of his strong leadership, he was capable enough to keep the territories united. He was capable enough to keep the governors, to keep the officers united, and that is what the strong leadership is, right? And that is the reason he is also considered to be the greatest ruler. Now he consolidated the territories and he strengthened the Bahmani Sultanate. Then he also faced threats from multiple directions. Like in the south, you can see Vijayanagar Empire was there, and the other local Hindu kings. Okay, so obviously within the territory of Bahmani Sultanate, there will be few small kingdoms which will be again led by local Hindu kings. Okay, and obviously they won't be accepting the authority of any Islamic king, right? They will be revolting. Again, there was a threat from the Vijayanagar Empire from the south, right? Obviously, see guys, if let's say this particular is the territory of Bahmanis, here Vijayanagar Empire is there, so both of them will try to increase their territorial spread, and in the wake of increasing the territorial spread, there will be scuffles, there will be conflicts, and this is how the threat will be there for the like empire, the political threat, the geopolitical threat, we can say. Now, another important events, particularly with respect to the life of Firoz Shah, is military campaigns and the conquests. So see, he led the northward expansion on Berar. Okay. See, this was the capital here. He led the northward expansion to this particular part. This is the Berar over here. You can see, right? Now, he also led the southward expansion to Raichur Doab against the Vijayanagar. Okay, so where is Raichur Doab? See, this is one river coming, and this is the second river. This is called as Raichur Doab. As you can read here, there is a location written. This is Raichur. Okay, that is Raichur Doab. When we talk about Doab, Doab means क्या होता है? The region between the two rivers. So you can see Tungabhadra from the south, and you can see from the north Krishna is coming, and that particular region between the Krishna and Tungabhadra is Raichur Doab. Okay, so he led the southward expansion, but obviously Vijayanagar king was also there, right? Vijayanagar kingdom was also there. Then they established a peace treaty, and what was the like after effect of the peace treaty? The marriage alliance, daughter of Devraya, right? So Firoz Shah, he conducted a peace treaty then with the king Devraya. Devraya was then ruling the Vijayanagara Empire, and then a marriage alliance was sought between Firoz Shah and the daughter of Devraya. Okay, now, so what you are able to understand from this? So you can say that how a peace treaty was established. So you can see now the efforts are there for diplomacy, right? Diplomatic talks, alliances. The alliance is also part of diplomacy. So you can say that Firoz Shah was also having strong role in the diplomacy. Okay. Then connection with the broader Islamic world. Now guys, see, though the empire was here in Deccan India, but it was well connected with the other Islamic world as well. How? So first is through trade. Okay, so trade was conducted. As you can see, there were multiple port cities on both west and the eastern coast, right? So it was again connected with the Islamic world. Second was the religious pilgrimage of the people who are staying here to the city of Mecca, right, which is again in the Middle East. So this is how there was a good connection between the subcontinent, or let's say between the Bahmani kingdom here and the Islamic world. Okay, fine. The next important contribution of Firoz Shah is the administrative reforms and governance. So when we talk about the administrative reforms, particularly in the period of Firoz Shah Bahmani, so you need to remember that he had integrationist policy. What do we mean by integrationist policy? Integrationist in the sense to integrate the different people, like diversity, integrate the diversity. So you can see here that religious inclusivity was there. He was having tolerant attitude towards the non-Islamic people. You can see Telugu alliances was also created. Like in the sense, the family members were married in the Telugu family. So just to create the alliance, right? Then local cooperation. So you can see that the local cooperation was sought. The cooperation from the local kings was sought. So this is how we can say it had like integration policy. Now students, see administrative structure. You need to understand that the empire was divided into different provinces. Here there were 4 such provinces, and the province was called as Turf. Okay, so the entire empire was divided into 4 such turfs. Okay, now there was efficient communication, since now you can see that the governance is quite a bit decentralized. That is the reason the participation of the locals will be there, and that is the reason the communication will be effective, communication will be efficient. And obviously revenue collection will be the major activity in the turf, right? So turf will be having a small like turf will be a province, and a particular governor will be heading the particular turf, right? What will be the role of that particular governor? To establish law and order and to collect revenue from it. Okay, now the third is economic policies. Balanced taxation was there. So when we talk about balanced taxation, it is like taxing the person on the basis of his income, right? It's not like taxing someone like to the larger extent, right? जिसका जितना income है उसके according उसको tax किया जाएगा, right? And that is the reason we say it as a balanced taxation, and that is one of the reason why the people, the peasants, the farmers were also happy, right? They will be producing, and the certain amount they will be giving as a tax, and this also led to the agricultural development then, because there was incentive, like the farmers, they were having incentives, right, to develop the agriculture. Why? Because some part will be given as a tax, remaining they will be keeping. Got it? So obviously there will be incentive for developing the agriculture. And even the policies of even the particular policies of Firoz Shah Bahmani was also in favor of agricultural development. Then coastal trade relations. As we have seen recently that the connection with the broader Islamic world was there, connection through the trade was there, coastal cities were there, and you can see that the coastal trade relations was also established. Okay, fine. Now we will have a look over the cultural and religious vision. Cultural development, guys, see, during the period of Firoz Shah Bahmani, the Deccan became the cultural center. Why? Because Islamic, Persian and local people, okay, Islamic, then the Persian and then the local people were involved, were having interactions, and this led to the synthesis, and then the culture, you can see, will be having the like, as we have seen earlier, he was having integrationist policy. So you can see that the culture of different, or let's say that particular diversity will be having a synthesis at a particular place, right? So you will be getting to see such literatures which are written from the Islamic, from the Persian, and from the local point of view. Okay, you will get to see that the king himself was believing in the tolerance, and that is the reason he promoted interfaith relations. Okay, he strengthened the interfaith relations. Okay, he strengthened the religious diversity over there, the tolerance over there. Fine, there was a scholarly atmosphere. So it's, when we talk about the scholarly atmosphere, it was like the scholars from different origin, that is from the Islamic, from Persian, and from the local area, they used to come, they used to have discussions. They used to have discussions, religious discussions, and which eventually led to the understanding of the culture of the different people. Got it? And this is where the synthesis will be coming into play. Okay. Scholarly pursuits. Multilingual patronage. So what do we mean by this? This word multilingual patronage means that Firoz Shah Bahmani patronaged. He helped in the flourishing of different languages. Different languages educational institutions also survived during his period. Literary code, in the sense, there were different literary scholars who had written different literatures, and they were adorning the court of Bahamani. So they were adorning the court of Firoz Shah Bahmani. This is the meaning of this particular phrase. Okay. Now, architecture. Now, when it comes to the architecture, you need to understand that since the Bahmani Sultanate had acquired the multiple other features of the Islamic world, similar was the stylistic feature of architecture. So you can get to see here Indo-Islamic style of architecture, where you will be seeing domes similar to those in Taj Mahal, similar to those domes in the Humayun's tomb. Okay, minarets, Arabic writings you will get to see. Okay, so these are the important features of Indo-Islamic style of architecture. Second thing is the materials used. So use of local material like trap rock and laterite stone. What do we mean by trap rock? So trap, when we talk about the word trap, it's the Deccan trap. Deccan trap मतलब क्या होता है? Deccan trap is the region, right, where the volcano has been solidified, when the where the volcanic rocks are present, right? ये कहाँ पे है अपने यहाँ पे? Deccan में, right? Deccan plateau पे. And the local material like laterite stone. Laterite stone is again red in color, so you will get to see some architectures which are quite a bit reddish in color. The Deccan trap stones are basically black in color, they are dark in color, black stone, right? So this is what you will be seeing in the local architectures over there. Okay. Then the architecture will be also showing intermixture of Hindu, Turkish and the Persian artisanship. So in the architecture of Bahmani Sultanate, you will get to see the elements of Hinduism, the indigenous elements, the Turkish elements, and then the Persian elements as well. Okay. Now let's see the images of Bahmani architecture. This is the Bidar Fort complex which you can see. This is the image of Bidar Fort complex. Okay. You can see here dome is there, right? Then the arch style, which is again unique to Indo-Islamic architecture, right? Then this is the mausoleum of Firoz Shah Bahmani. Again here you'll get to see a dome. Okay. Now this element particularly, this element is a kind of tribute style, tribute architectural style, and this is common to the indigenous architecture, or let's say this is common to the Hinduism. Okay, so this, in this way you can see that how the architecture is having some elements of Hinduism, some elements of Islamic and the Persian origin. So that is all with respect to this particular topic, students. Now, see, any particular topic, if it's in news and it's related to your ancient, medieval or art and culture, it becomes very much important for you to study. So I would advise you to make notes on the things whatever we have discussed. Keep on revising it often and often. Okay, till then, all the best, and let's meet in the next video where we will be discussing such kind of important topics which are in news.